I wanted to ask you about that because Big Steve yesterday predicted Brighton to win. Most of the panel last night said that Brighton are the favourites at Old Trafford. How do you see this going, Hassam?
Like, the thing is, I think Brighton are favourites is a step too far right now. This is Brighton, after all. That's the thing. So, as much as they've done well so far this season, I don't think we could look at Brighton as a favourite at Old Trafford or the Emirates or Anfield or the Etihad or any stadium right now. They need to build a little bit more before we start having these conversations. Look, I predicted on my predictions show a 2-1 win for Brighton. Would I be absolutely shocked if Man United win? No, because I think Brighton plays into Man United hands. I'll tell you why. Man United, they love it when a team plays possession football because that's literally what they want. They want you to play possession because they do have a sort of semi-lethal counter-attack with the likes of Rashford, Højlund now if he starts, and then you've got whoever is on the right wing. That could be a kind of counter-attacking style that hurts Brighton. For me, I think first 20 minutes, Brighton are going to have possession. Brighton are going to have the chances. Brighton are going to have the opportunities. I think what determines this game is the first 20 minutes. If Brighton take their opportunities, if they take their chances, then they have an opportunity to win. If they do not take their chances, then that's where the problems lie for me. And then Man United could end up winning the game because Man United do need a moment at Old Trafford. And to be fair, they do have a good record at Old Trafford. So for me, I think if I'm doing a prediction based on like my heart and a little bit my head, I would say Brighton 2-1. But if I'm saying like, would I be shocked at all if Man United win? No, because Brighton playing to Man United's hands, and Brighton are the XG kings for a reason. They're the XG kings for a reason. They take 70 chances, 80 chances, 90 chances. They just miss. You go to Old Trafford, you can't be missing them chances. You need to be clinical. So that for me is what's going to be the difference in this game. The Brighton clinicalness. And I see people in the comments mentioning Ansu Fati. I spoke to Barcelona fans and they said Ansu Fati kind of lost a little bit of explosiveness right now because of the injuries that he's had. I doubt he'd start anyway. He'll probably bring him on. But Ansu Fati is someone who has a high footballing IQ. So that might help Brighton if they need a moment in the final third. But Brighton need to be clinical, 100%. And this is one of them games where I don't think like someone who expects Brighton to win would be shocked if United win or vice versa. This could go either way, dependent on who's clinical.
This here says, if you are not capping, what do the bookies say? Then that is the favourites. Well, I've just went and checked on Odds Checker that have the odds for all the UK bookmakers. Man United are generally 23-20, which basically means odds-on favourites to win. The second best odds are on Brighton to win, which are around 2-1, which means you double your money, and then it's around 3-1 to 4-1 on it being a draw. So with the bookmakers, my friend, Man United are the favourites at home, which makes sense. And listen, I think you've said there about Brighton. I think he's right. But I also think Man United fans should be excited about two things. Rasmus Højlund starting a game. I thought he looked good when he came on against Arsenal. And I think being at home and against a team that's probably going to afford us a little bit of space is quite nice for an opening, a home and starting debut. And then there's Amrabat. And I really do feel like Amrabat has been so misprofiled. Mainly, and look, Man United fans are partly responsible for this. The amount of times now, I'm actually bored of it. The amount of times I've seen that track back and tackle on Mbappe, it's like, there's so much more to Amrabat's game than that. And I read a really interesting piece in the Telegraph about him. Fiorentina were the second highest team in Serie A last season in terms of ball retention and press resistance. The only team that had better ball possession was Napoli. No team had better what they call press resistance. So essentially winning the duels when it comes to presses in the middle. And a lot of that is down to the way Amrabat plays football. Yes, he's brilliant at winning the ball back. He's a good tackler. He's a combatant. He's physical. He's got decent speed. He does all of that very, very well. And at the World Cup, people noticed that because essentially Morocco were playing counter-attack football. So you weren't noticing what he was doing in possession. Nobody was really watching Fiorentina play. But what he likes the ball. He's a good progressor. He moves the ball through the lines well. He can dribble with the ball as well at times. Again, I'm not stating that he's at Jude Bellingham's level at getting the ball and exploding away. But I think there's a lot more to Amrabat's game than football fans comprehend. They don't research. They don't read.
But I don't think he would start, though.
Listen, I wouldn't be... Listen, he might not. But I personally think that he should. And look, you can't always read into these things. But the fact he's been given the number 4 shirt, I think is fairly significant. to me personally. I would like if he starts and Højlund starts. I'm really confident we'll beat Brighton tomorrow. I think that the one thing I would say about...
Do you think Ten Hag is just going to put him into the deep end like this? You don't think he's going to like give him 45 minutes?
Maybe he will. At the same time, though, you're at home. It's against a team that's going to give us opportunities and space. And this is a player who has been playing in Serie A for many years. Someone that's been to the highest level of the game and got deep into a World Cup. He's been under pressure before. Listen, I know he pulled out of the Morocco squad with an injury, but we all know what that was. He probably spoke to his country and said, can I please have 2 weeks of training in Manchester to get used to things? That's exactly what that was, in my view. I would start him. If them two start, him and Højlund, I'm very confident Man United could win. That's coupled with, just looking at some of the pictures today from our training ground, I do, and what I hope, this is a hope, this isn't what I know, this is what I hope, is that everything that's happened with Sancho, with everyone writing us off, I'm hoping it's a galvanizing moment for this team. And, I want us to go out and put a performance in tomorrow, one that we're proud of, one where we can walk away and say, look, it's 3 points, but it's a performance. The season kind of starts here for us again, and then we roll on because it's a very busy next sort of 5 to 6 weeks until the next international break now with Champions League football. So I hope we can do it. I'm confident we can do it. And I'm very excited to see Højlund start, very excited to see Amrabat start, because the annoying thing about this summer transfer window is we've barely seen a new player barring our goalkeeper. And it's just, I'm watching you guys loving Szoboszlai and McAllister. You've got Maddison over at Spurs as an example. Everyone seems to have a new player. Declan Rice at Arsenal. Everyone's got someone new that they're all buzzing about and all excited about. And I like what Onana's done, but it's at the wrong end of the pitch to make you excited. Does that make sense? So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing.
You do know this week there is a beat down that's coming to Man United. You do know that.
Well, against Bayern Munich?
Yes.
Maybe.
You're losing that game.
Listen, right now, they're definitely the favourites. Will we get smashed to pieces and beaten down? I don't know. When you say smashed down and beaten, expand on that. How badly?
I think you would lose 3+ goals. 3+ goal difference. Yes. I think Bayern Munich will eat you alive. And I'll make another statement, because I love making statements on the football terrace. If Manchester United beat Bayern Munich away at the Allianz Arena, I will sing Glory, Glory, Man United publicly. I'm that confident.
On this stream next week. Okay.
I'm that confident.
I'll take that bet from you. We had a comment here from Maradon. He said, Terry, he's a good player, but stop gassing every time you do this. The opposite happens. Your predictions are horrible.
Bloody
really? I mean, not really. I literally predicted last year. The last big prediction I made on a player was Højlund would come in and smash Mo Salah's record by about 30 games. And he literally went and he did it. I told everybody, again, we're only 4 games in. Declan Rice is going to be a star signing. I know I predicted that Jadon Sancho would kill it at Manchester United, and I got that wrong, but I've got lots right as well. Like last year when I predicted that Arsenal would come in, even in the top 4, I was laughed at. When I said Spurs would miss out, I was laughed at. The only prediction I got I got 2 predictions team-wise horribly wrong last year. Like completely wrong. And that was Liverpool winning the league and Man United not making the top 4. All the others were pretty much accurate. So again, Maradon, I haven't said at any point that Amrabat is world class or he's the best midfielder in the world or we've just gone and bought our own version of Xavi. I've literally said he's being misprofiled and people assume that he's just this guy that breaks up play. But he's a good passer. He's good at progressing the ball. And if you read about Italian football and read what he did from credible sports journalists, he was integral in that team being the most press-resistant side and one of the best ball retainers in Serie A. And the reason why I think that is significant, and maybe I didn't expand on this, Maradon, is Man United get questioned, are they press-resistant? Can their midfield hold on to the ball? We signed someone who is renowned for that. And I shouldn't talk about it? But again, where did I turn around and say it? Where am I gassing him? What have I said? What's the prediction based on him joining? Barring I think we can win tomorrow at home against Brighton. By the way, a team that's 31 games unbeaten at home. Again, how's that gassing someone? Expand on that for me. That's why we call you Maradon the moron, because you say some weird stuff, bro. Ten Hag's what? Prerogative, sorry, to choose the team. Both believe they are right. Jadon Sancho behavior makes no sense. If Ten Hag told the whole truth, win or lose, Ten Hag needs trust. Yeah, look, everyone's got, listen, I've heard people say the fact that Sancho's not apologizing shows that he's telling the truth. that as a blanket statement doesn't make sense because Ten Hag's not backing down either. So by your own logic, what does that mean? If they're both not backing down, but in your eyes, Sancho not backing down means he's telling the truth, it doesn't make sense. You've got to have more to it than that. And interestingly, what I find interesting is that the inconsistencies that people around Sancho are calling out are not the same things that Ten Hag was called Sancho out for. So they say things like, well, the player's unhappy because of inconsistencies because Anthony gets more chances than him. But the manager has said, you're not in the team because of what you do in training, nothing to do with on-the-pitch performances. So again, I don't think you can counter... If me and Hassan were having an argument, it's like this. Like, there's a lot of whataboutery out there. If Sam says to me, Anthony Martial should start this game, and I say, look, describe to me why Martial should start, and his only response is better than Rashford, that's not a reason why Martial should start per se. You're not explaining yourself. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Again, I'm not going in on Jadon Sancho too hard on this. I understand where the super chat is coming from. I just want my club to be run better. And, you know, if Sancho doesn't want to be here and the club don't want him anymore, again, let's move him on. I wish him all the best in the future. There's no agenda. There's no continual hate. I want the best for my football club, you know, and everything else. And I do implore people to not get abusive with him because, again, there's absolutely no need for that.
For context, ladies and gentlemen, Man United have put out more statements than away wins this last year. So it's mad. 5 statements versus 3 away wins.
Yeah.
I can't
Terry,
wait if you lose tomorrow. God be with you on that match reaction. I'll be honest with you. The stuff that you will hear will be
Terry,
mad.
you said if you get Amrabat and Kane, you would win the league. I said we could win the league. If we'd have signed Harry Kane this summer with Højlund, with Amrabat, with Onana and Mount, I genuinely believe those goals from Harry Kane would put us into a position where we could win the league. Yes, but that's nothing to do with what I just said about Amrabat because we didn't get Harry Kane. So that prediction of mine becomes obsolete.
Guys, Harry Kane is a game changer, man. Like, I swear, sometimes this is why the guy called you a moron. Had we signed, it's like me saying, like, oh, you know what, Hussam, you said if you signed Soboslai and I don't know, insert some unbelievable defender, you'd won the league. Yeah, because that defender is unbelievable. Like, you guys need to understand, Harry Kane is a game changer. He just scored 30 Prem goals at Man United, literally. Or he would have had, he would have given you 20 assists for your wingers. So, like, let's just stop being dumb for once. Maradon, you moron, because Harry Kane ain't here. He's in Bayern Munich. And you'll see Harry Kane's importance this Wednesday. So tune in.
I forgot. I actually forgot he played for him for a second there until you reminded me. But
see why I'm so confident? It's the story's written in the stars, Terry.
No, I hear you completely.